Hello. So I wanted to share my favourite book from when I was little. It's very old and it's got drawings in it because we doodled all over it. But it's a book that my mum used to read to me, so maybe there's some other little children out there who might enjoy it. And I like reading, so it's about a spider, but he's not scary. Harry and George sat in their secret meeting place. It was a large kennel for Harry's dog, but Biffy never used it, so Harry and George did. How many flies did you catch? Asked Harry. 3, said George. He pulled a small bottle out of his pocket. Only 3? Asked Harry. We will need more than that. George sighed. It took me an hour to catch these. Are you sure he likes flies? Yes, said Harry. Don't you remember? The book said that spiders eat live flies and other insects. Yes, said George, but the spider in the picture had a web. Wolfie hasn't made a web yet. He will make a web when he sees the flies, Harry said. He picked up a big jar. Something inside it moved. Hello, Wolfie, Harry whispered. He unscrewed the jar lid carefully. Get ready, he told George. George turned his bottle upside down over the big jar. He took off the bottle top and shook the flies into the jar. Harry quickly put the lid back on. Have a fly, Wolfie, said Harry. They watched the brown spider in the jar. At first it did not move. Then it made a dash at the fly, but the fly got away just in time. Outside the kennel, someone called, Harry! Shh, it's Polly, Harry whispered. Hide, Wolfie. Polly was Harry's little sister. I want to see the spider, she said. No, said Harry. Go away. Scram. Wait, Harry, George said. Then he stuck his head out of the kennel. He said to Polly, You can see Wolfie, but first you have to bring him 100 flies, live ones. Okay, said Polly, and off she ran. Why did you tell her that? Asked Harry. Now she'll pester us all the time. No, she won't, said George. It's very hard to catch flies. You don't know, Polly, Harry grumbled. They watched Wolfie for a while to see if he would eat the flies. Wolfie looks sad, said George. Maybe we need a bigger place to keep him. Let's ask my mother if she has anything bigger, Harry said. Polly was at the kitchen table. She had a rubber band over her first finger. She pulled the rubber band back like a catapult. A fly walked across the table. Snap! Polly let the rubber band go. The fly bounced over on its back. Wow, George said. Polly picked up the fly and put it into a jelly jar. There were 4 other flies in the jar. They have to be alive, said Harry. Wolfie won't eat dead flies. They are alive, said Polly. They are just stunned. She shook the jar. The flies buzzed. Harry gave George a dirty look. What did I tell you? He said. Harry asked his mother. Do you have anything bigger than a jar for Wolfie? Who is Wolfie? His mother asked. He is a big, hairy spider, said Harry. Harry won't let me see him, Polly said, until I catch 100 flies. A spider, said Harry's mother. Where is it? It's in Biffy's house, said Polly. Harry's mother said, Why don't you take it to Miss Rose at the Nature Museum? Biffy and Inky are enough pets for one family. Anybody can have a dog and a cat, Harry said. Polly snapped her rubber band and stunned another fly. Can I go to the Nature Museum too? Polly asked. No, said Harry. He and George ran outdoors. The Nature Museum had rocks, butterflies, other insects, and leaves. When they got there, George said, Miss Rose, do you have something we can keep Wolfie in? Who is Wolfie? Asked Miss Rose. Wolfgang, Harry said. He is a wolf spider. Really? Miss Rose asked. How do you know? We looked him up in a book, George said. He's big and brown and hairy, said Harry, and he runs very fast. We saw him chase an insect, and he caught it too. What are you feeding him? Miss Rose asked. Flies, George said, but they are very hard to catch. What about water? Asked Miss Rose. Water? Do spiders drink water? Yes, they need water as much as they need food, said Miss Rose. I don't think he's very hungry, George said. He hasn't made a web to catch flies. He won't spin a web if he is a wolf spider, said Miss Rose. Some spiders spin webs to trap insects, but wolf spiders run after them. They are hunters. Wolf spiders do not trap insects in a web. Then what should we keep him in? Asked Harry. The best thing would be a big box with a wire screen over the top, Miss Rose said. She showed them what to do. Miss Rose picked up a small screen. Here, she said, you can use this. When you have Wolfie all fixed up, will you bring him here? I'd like to see him. Okay, Harry said. Thank you. When Harry and George got home, they found an old wooden box. They put some dirt in it. They added twigs and leaves and a little clump of grass. While Harry held the screen, George dumped Wolfie into his new home. Wolfie ran into a corner and hid under a leaf. Let's get him some food, said Harry. And water, said George. How do you give spiders water? I know, said a voice. It was Polly. She was sitting on the grass with Biffy and Inky. Go away, said Harry. How do you give water to a spider? Asked George. You put drops of water on a leaf, Polly said. Sometimes Inky drinks dewdrops that way. Okay, go and get water, Harry said. Bring some flies too, George said. Polly brought back a jar of flies and a glass of water. I caught 7 flies, she said. Can I watch you feed Wolfie? No, said Harry. You have to get a whole 100. George and Harry put the flies into Wolfie's box. They sprinkled water on the leaves. Wolfie turned around. One of his legs touched a wet leaf. He seemed to be breathing heavily. He bent his knees, then he touched the wet leaf. He's drinking the water, George said. Wolfie made a dash at the fly. He got him, Harry shouted. Wow, he is fast. The next day Harry and George took Wolfie to Miss Rose. You were right, Miss Rose said. It is a wolf spider. Did you notice how many eyes he has? Eyes, said George. Don't insects have 2 eyes? A spider is not an insect, Miss Rose said. What is it then? Harry asked. An arachnid, said Miss Rose. Wolf spiders have 8 eyes. Bring him over to my work table and I will show you. George and Harry took Wolfie's box to the table. Miss Rose got a magnifying glass and held it over the spider. He looked enormous, very heavy and quite cross. Harry counted. Wolfie had 8 eyes. Miss Rose reached into a glass tank and picked up a shiny black beetle. It waved its legs. Miss Rose took the magnifying glass and held it over the beetle, so Harry and George could see it. How many legs does a beetle have? She asked. Harry and George counted. 6, they said together. How many does Wolfie have? Miss Rose asked. Those two things near his head, are they his legs? Asked George. No, they are palps. Wolfie sometimes uses them to hold his food. Well then, he has 8 legs, Harry said. Right, said Miss Rose. Spiders have 8 legs, insects have 6. Very big. Is that what makes spiders and insects different? Asked George. Just the number of legs? No, said Miss Rose. There are other differences. Take a good look at Wolfie. How many parts does his body have? He's got a head, said Harry. And a body, George added. Now look at the beetle, said Miss Rose. How many parts does it have? The beetle wriggled in her fingers. He has a head, but his body has 2 parts, said George. So he has 3 parts altogether, said Harry. He has feelers on his head too, said George. Wolfie doesn't have feelers. That's right, Miss Rose said. Those don't seem like very big differences, said Harry. How else are they different? Miss Rose put the beetle down gently in a glass box. Look again, she said. She put the wire screen back over the top. Why did we put screens over Wolfie's box and my beetle's tank? Asked Miss Rose. So they can have air but can't get out, said George. How would they get out? Asked Miss Rose. Why, Wolfie would climb out, Harry said. The beetle would too, George said. Or he could fly out. That's it, cried Harry. Wolfie can't fly. He doesn't have wings. Right you are, Harry, said Miss Rose. Spiders don't have wings, but many insects do. Harry and George took Wolfie back to the kennel. Every day they watched him and fed him the flies that Polly had caught. One day she caught 7, and another day she caught 5, but she did not catch anywhere near 100. So Polly asked Harry again, Can't I see Wolfie now? I have 27 flies. No, said Harry, 100. Why? Polly asked. You showed him to Miss Rose. She didn't catch any flies for him. Of course not, Harry said. Miss Rose knows all about spiders. Besides, she's not a pest like you. I am not a pest, cried Polly. Yes, you are, Harry said. Go away, pest. Polly did not catch any more flies for Wolfie that day. When Polly went to bed, she was still cross with Harry. Inky jumped on her bed. Harry is mean, she told Inky. Who wants to see his old spider anyway, she said. In the middle of the night, Polly woke up. She thought about Wolfie and the flies she had to catch before Harry would let her see him. Inky woke up and meowed softly. That's how loved this book is. We drew on Polly's face. Polly slipped out of bed and got her torch. Inky followed her. They tiptoed out of the room, down the stairs and out the back door. Silently they crossed the yard to the kennel. Polly shone her torch inside. She crawled in and held the light over Wolfie's box. Hello, Wolfie, she whispered. Harry woke up too. The moon made shadows in his room. The shadows looked like big animals, with wavy long legs. Harry remembered he had not given Wolfie any water. He got out of bed and found the torch. He got a glass of water and crept down the stairs. The back door squeaked. Harry hoped his parents would not wake up. Polly heard Harry coming. She turned off her torch and held Inky close to her. Everything looked very different to Harry in the moonlight. The house seemed large, and the trees looked like giants. The kennel was very dark and silent. Harry got down on his knees to crawl inside. He pointed his torch at the entrance. Two yellow eyes stared at him. Harry remembered how Wolfie looked under the magnifying glass. He almost stopped breathing. Then Harry heard a noise. It sounded like a giggle. "Wolfie," he said. Polly laughed. "Polly!" cried Harry. "You rat! Did I scare you?" asked Polly. "No," said Harry. "Well," said Polly, "it's very dark out here. Let's go back to the house." The next morning Polly asked Harry, "Can I see Wolfie today?" "You have already seen him," said Harry. "I suppose you can." After breakfast they took the jar of Polly's flies to the kennel. "You go first," said Harry. Polly crawled into the kennel. "Hello, Wolfie," said Polly. Harry crawled in after her. Wolfie was in his box, among the leaves. "He's great, Harry," said Polly. "Yes," Harry said, "he is." He handed Polly the jar of flies. "Here," he said, "you can feed Wolfie today." The end.